Have you ever been scrolling through Amazon and thought, whoa, how did they know I wanted that? Well, it's not a psychic, I promise you. It's marketing research. And today, we're going to pull back the curtain on how companies turn raw data into brilliant decisions. We'll be using Chapter 5 of the Absolute Bible of Marketing, Marketing Management, 17th edition, by Kotler and his team as our guide. So let's dive right in. You know, this quote from Kotler just nails it, doesn't it? Marketing really is this amazing blend of art and science. Your creativity, your gut feeling, that's the art. But the data, the evidence, that's the science that gives your art real power. In this explainer, we're really going to focus on getting that science part right so all your creative ideas can truly fly. All right, so here's our game plan for this little quest for insight. First, we'll talk about that art and science balance. Then, we'll get into building your own marketing intelligence system. From there, we'll walk the path to genuine insight, peek inside the researcher's toolkit, see how AI is changing everything, and finally, wrap it all up by turning data into real, concrete action. So, in the crazy, fast-moving market we're all in today, the really successful marketers have two huge advantages. First, they've got disciplined, systematic ways of getting information. And second, they live and breathe the market. They're constantly talking to customers, keeping an eye on competitors. It's this combo that separates a true marketing strategy from, just throwing spaghetti at the wall and hoping it sticks. And the foundation for all of this, it's what we call the Marketing Information System, or MIS. The best way to think about it is like the dashboard of your car, right? It's not just one dial. It's this whole collection of gauges, your speed, your fuel, your engine temp, all working together to give you the full picture so you can actually navigate the road ahead without crashing. So how does this dashboard actually get its information? Well, a really solid marketing intelligence system does two things. It looks at what happened in the past, and it gives you a live feed of what's happening right now. And trust me, understanding the difference between the past and the present is absolutely crucial. This slide just lays it out perfectly. You've got two sides of the same data coin. On one side, you have your internal records, your sales reports. This is results data. Think of it as your rear-view mirror. It's super important for seeing where you've been. But on the other side, you have your intelligence system. This is happenings data. It's your windshield showing you what's coming up right now. You need both to drive well. Man, this story for Michael Dell is such a classic cautionary tale. It just perfectly shows the danger of only looking in that rearview mirror. Your sales data might be screaming that yellow Mustangs are selling like hotcakes. But the reality, the happenings data, might be that customers are desperately asking for red ones and are just settling for yellow. This is exactly how companies make huge, costly mistakes in production. And if you want to see the incredible power of happenings data in action, look no further than Amazon. Their recommendation engine isn't just based on what you bought last year. It's analyzing what people like you are looking at, adding to their carts, and buying right this second. And that real-time intelligence is responsible for almost a third of their sales. That's not just a feature, that's a gigantic competitive advantage. Okay, so having all this data is great, but let's be honest. Data on its own is just noise. It's a bunch of numbers and facts. The real magic, the thing that gives you a true competitive edge, is turning all that noise into clear, actionable insights. And here's the absolute key. An insight isn't just about what is happening. It's about why it's happening. Kotler makes this point so clearly. If you don't understand the why behind customer behavior, you're basically flying blind. And that's when you're likely to make some really expensive mistakes. So to get to that why, your research can have a few different flavors, depending on what you're trying to do. Sometimes you're doing exploratory research, which is just about figuring out, hey, what's the actual problem here? Then there's descriptive research, where you're trying to measure something, like how many people would actually buy this. And finally, there's causal research. This is the most specific, where you're trying to prove a direct link, like did our new ad campaign actually cause sales to go up? Now, to answer these different kinds of questions, marketers have this whole toolkit full of ways to collect new primary data. And the secret isn't knowing how to use every single tool perfectly. It's about knowing which tool is the right one for the specific job you're trying to do. Kotler basically breaks it down into 5 main approaches. You can just watch people, observe them in their natural habitat. You can bring a small group together for a focus group and have a deep chat. You can go wide with surveys and just ask a ton of people questions directly. You can analyze their actual purchase data, what they're really doing. Or you can get scientific and run controlled experiments to test a hypothesis. I absolutely love this quote. It just perfectly captures the two sides of a famous tool, the focus group. When done right, they can give you incredibly rich, deep feedback and fast. But, and this is a big but, the source material warns us that this setting is artificial. People can fall into groupthink, where one loud person sways the room. So you can't just take what a few people say and assume it applies to everyone. It's a powerful tool, for sure, but you gotta know how to handle it. And beyond the methods, you have different instruments you can use. Questionnaires are the workhorse. They're super flexible and great for getting hard numbers. Then you've got more qualitative things, like word association, which are fantastic for digging into what people are really thinking and feeling. And then you've got the really high-tech stuff, like brainwave scanners, that can literally measure a person's unfiltered reaction to an ad. The range is just incredible. And speaking of high-tech, you simply cannot talk about marketing research today without talking about AI. Artificial intelligence is completely rewriting the rules for how we gather information, how we process it, and it's opening up possibilities we could only dream of just a few years ago. I mean, the benefits are just massive. AI can chew through unbelievable amounts of data, text, pictures, numbers, at lightning speed. It can even create smart surveys that change the questions based on your answers. All of this efficiency means you can get insights way faster and a whole lot cheaper than ever before. But, and this is a big but, with all that power comes some serious risks. Kotler's book is smart to point these out. AI models can sometimes hallucinate. They literally make stuff up. The algorithms can be so complex they become a black box that managers just don't understand or trust. And maybe most importantly, an AI is only as unbiased as the data you feed it. Garbage in, garbage out. Okay, so we've covered the big picture, we've looked at the tools, we've touched on the cutting-edge tech. Now let's bring it all home. Because at the end of the day, the whole point of this entire fascinating, sometimes complicated process is to help us make better, smarter, more confident decisions. And here's something that might surprise you. You don't need to break the bank to do this stuff well. Most companies spend somewhere between just 1% and 2% of their total sales on marketing research. It's a totally manageable investment, especially when you think about the enormous return it can give you. So let's lock in the key takeaways here. Number 1, build your system. Your marketing information system is your command center. And remember, you need both that rear view mirror of your internal data and that clear windshield view of what's happening in the market right now. Takeaway number 2, choose the right tool for the job. There is no magic one-size-fits-all solution here. Whether it's a simple survey, a deep dive focus group, or a massive AI analysis, the method you choose has to perfectly match the question you're trying to answer. And finally, our third and most important takeaway of all, insight is what drives action. Please remember this. The goal is never just to collect data. The goal is to forge that data into a powerful insight that answers the question, why? Because that single, powerful insight, that's the bridge that connects all your hard research to a bold, brilliant, and successful marketing strategy. So as we wrap this up, I want to leave you with this question. Imagine all the research is done. The data is sitting right there in front of you. What is the one powerful insight that will guide your next move? Because finding the answer to that is what this is all about. Thanks so much for joining me.